Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, Salty PC, the dreaded upgraded boards, dead PowerBook and the nervous professor. That time I kicked someone in the crotch over TCP/IP. When BYOD is no longer allowed. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Salty PC. During the move of our departments, one of our sheriffs phoned my direct extension. This is how the conversation went down. Me, IT, this is El Ciros, how can I help you? James, not real name OFC. Hey, so I have an issue with my computer not turning on. Me, alright, when did this start happening and did you notice anything like a power surge recently? James, happened today and I believe the cause is that I spilled salt water on it? Me, excuse me, did you say salt water? James, yes, so I was in our evidence room and I was moving my desktop when I accidentally bumped into this salt water aquarium and ended up spilling some of the water into my machine. Me, okay, dash. James, so I did the thing on YouTube where you put the machine into rice and let it sit for a while but it's still not turning on? I know we're supposed to save any documents we're working on to the network folders, but I was in the middle of writing an FBI report and I really need that. Me, internally screaming how the F***CK? Why the F***CK rice? How do you get a desktop in a container with rice? What the heck is going on? At this point I am physically straining myself to not laugh in their face. F***king how? So I tell him I'll be on my way to check it out. Granted, I knew this sheriff was a bit special with tech, but this took the cake. I get over to the sheriff's department, front desk lady buzzes me through, and I get escorted back to the evidence room to see the damage. He managed to spill a whole lot more than some salt water. The desktop was still basically soaked when I got there, and sure as sh*t, he had it in a plastic bin filled with multiple bags worth of rice. The desktops we deploy are those big name brand machines with the easy hinge doors for quick access to the innards. I pull the SSD that was installed and visibly there's no damage to drive. I told the deputy to be more careful, a bit more sternly, and reminded him how expensive the machines are for the county. He apologizes some more and I tell him I will try my best to pull data off the drive. Luckily the drive was fine and has a new home. I pulled the report he needed off the drive onto a thumb drive and gave it back to him. Please don't spill salt water on your computers. The dreaded upgraded boards. Disclaimer, LTL, FTP. Also not an actual tech support worker. I'm one of those IT wizards who also happens to intensely look into all the tech my school uses, in case I have to wizard. Cast. Me, a small wizard, slowly beginning to gather an aura of IT prowess. Teacher, a poor teacher who got hit by the first wave of the upgrade. Dollar School, the school, famous for buying whatever is new and shiny and either being super paranoid and putting an insane amount of restrictions on that make it basically useless, or forgetting about it altogether. Old board, OB the old touch screen boards. Great, but expensive and proprietary. New board, NB the new touch screen boards. Cheap but cheap. Context. Around 8 years ago, the teachers at Dollar School got these big, bulky touchscreen boards. They had two components, a projector and a screen with pen and touch input. Each part had to be individually calibrated, powered, and connected. In other words, they were a huge pain. Except they weren't. The classrooms have seriously adapted to these hulking beasts. The calibration takes a few seconds, and every teacher knows how to do it. The boards have been given their own power sockets, which, probably, have their own higher power output. The teachers have also gotten really creative with integrating the boards into their lessons. But there's still the problem of the projector. All the projectors use proprietary light bulbs, which cost a ton each year. I'm assuming that's the main reason that Dollar School switched. Around 6 months ago, I was checking the Dollar School's Technology Resources website. Dollar School no longer installs OBs. NBs are a better and lower cost alternative. I'm sure everyone here knows what that means. Me, whelp. Here we go again. Fast forward to today, and the NBs start arriving. Apparently, the teachers weren't told until the day of. I don't know how true that is, but they definitely didn't receive much training. Or any training. At all. I walk into class to check these things out. They are massive. Hulking giants compared to the already huge OB. And half of the right side is taken up by a giant profile picture. Teacher takes out the pen and opens up the OB Slides app. Not the greatest idea, but they've had these lesson plans for 8 years, and they didn't know about this until now. So, teacher lays the pen on the board and begins to draw a straight line on the graph. Lag, so much lag. The line was at least 8 inches away from the pen. And then the best setting ever activates. Hold to right click. On a board marketed for drawing and similar activities. So teachers spending time exiting the right click menus, which takes forever, because the laggy mouse input rolls over the menus and causes them to open again. You think it's a driver issue? There's no driver. Calibrate the board? Do you have an hour or two to go through the settings? Menus? Where? Long story short, I'm coming in to help this poor teacher. And everyone else, eventually. Maybe I'll make a part 2 if something interesting happens. It's going to be a long, long week in the Wizarding Tower. Dead PowerBook and the Nervous Professor. Sometimes in tech support you can look like a hero without really doing anything difficult. Years ago when I worked at a university, we had a lot of professors get excited about Apple PowerBooks. They liked the look, the metal case, the Unix Y feel of OS X, it was so cool. And we bought a bunch of them. And as super smart users tend to do, they didn't think much about backups. We had no kind of enterprise network solution. We told them to buy an external disk and use Time Machine. Or RSYNC from the laptop to our fancy file server. I investigated retrospect, but no one wanted to pay for it. And then one day Professor C came hustling into my office with an old PowerBook. "C, this laptop is dead and it has some important files on it. Can you help?" Me, maybe, what's wrong? "C, the screen never comes on, I don't know, it's powering up. I tried a different power adapter but the screen is still blank." Me, did you try an external monitor? C. No, I didn't think of that. For some context, C was a computer guy, but he was more in theory end of things. He could probably do his job with a pencil and notebook. So, I hook up a monitor, nothing. Power LED is on, so it seems to be not totally dead. Connect an external keyboard and mouse just to see if that makes any difference. Me, I think you're right, it's dead, Jim. Do you have any backups? C looks kind of nervous. Like there's something he doesn't want to tell me, but figures he's going to have to. C, actually, this my old laptop, my wife's been using it for her business, and it's got all her important files on it. And she doesn't have any backups. Okay, so this is interesting. It's certainly not proper for me to use my time to recover his wife's files. But C is a nice guy and I can see he's sweating bullets. I sure would not want to tell my wife her business files are gone. I'm about to tell him he'll have to take it to a repair place to get the drive pulled out. Maybe the data can be recovered from there. But then I have another thought. Me, do you have your current laptop with you? C, yes. Pulls a newer PowerBook out of his backpack. I grab a firewire cable and connect the two laptops. I explain to C about target mode for Apple computers. I boot up the broken laptop in target mode and his good laptop sees it. Me, you can copy files to your laptop from the bad one. And get your wife to buy an external drive to make backups on. To myself I'm thinking, and get her buy a reliable computer for her business. For crying out loud, using this old POS was just asking for trouble. C was super grateful. He thanked me over and over again. He couldn't believe I had this secret way to access his dead laptop. It was pretty silly, I just used a utility that the Apple guys had included, it's not like I invented anything. The strangest thing was I had another professor in a different department have the exact same situation come up a week later. He was another super cool guy, and he was just in next building over, so I just strolled across with my firewire cable, and got to be a hero all over again. That time I kicked someone in the crotch over TCP/IP. Been a while since I last posted, but I just remembered this story today. It's short and sweet, so here goes. I work as a senior software engineer at a small software company. Being a small company, I wear multiple hats. I handle gathering requirements, developing software, project deployment, and post-deployment support. The whole life cycle. One of the software packages I am responsible for is our point of sale software that integrates with our company's flagship software package. As it is my software, I handle new deployments and support cases for this product. Many of our clients prefer us to remote into their POS terminal to solve issues, rather than coming on-site. This saves them a call-out fee, so they're happy enough to have someone on hand to help with anything that can't be done remotely. Mostly this involves hardware testing. Okay, scan a barcode. That scanned? Good. Did the receipt come out? Does it look right? You know the drill. One of our clients was having issues with their receipt printer and cash drawer. This hardware was very old, and updates to the POS software had caused a compatibility issue with their hardware drivers. Luckily, updating the hardware driver package for the receipt printer/cash drawer and setting the devices up again resolved the issue. I was on the phone with one of the store clerks for this particular client, testing out the hardware. We just tested the receipt printer, which printed perfectly. Final thing to test was the cash drawer. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Me, okay, that's working. Now we're going to test the cash drawer. I'm going to kick the drawer, and you tell me if it opens or not. Clerk, okay. Me, clicks button. Random customer, excuse me. Cash drawer, ka-chunk. Clerk, oof. As soon as I clicked the no sale button, a customer tried to get the attention of the clerk at the terminal. The cash drawer popped, and the clerk turned towards the customer, and caught himself right on the edge of the drawer as it was springing out. Me, well. That sounds like it worked. And that's how I literally kicked someone in the jimmy over the internet. When BYOD is no longer allowed. Hello everyone. I have an interesting story for you folks. User, hello IT, this is finance. I can't access the network at all. Not even the internet. Me, strange, okay I'm coming. I go down and I see that she's not getting an IP address. I'm thinking okay, strange. So I asked, did anyone come and use this docking station? She's like, yes, the finance director bought his personal laptop, and he connected this blue cable to it, but it didn't work. Then I realized what has happened. Port security kicked in, shutting down the port. I go back to my desk and reset the port, allowing the user to continue her work. But now, I need to raise an incident report and get the finance director to sign it, but he refuses. I call my manager and he tell him that he's refusing to sign. My manager goes to the CEO and gets him involved. After informing of what happened, BYOD was no longer allowed.